My beloved child, in a world filled with injustice and coldness, I have seen you quietly sowing seeds of goodness. Even when those seeds were not always met with the return you deserved, I know every time you extended your hands in love, only to be met with doubtful eyes, words that pierced your heart, or even betrayal from those you trusted most. There were days you questioned why sincere love is overlooked, why kindness is mistaken for weakness, why the good seem to suffer the most. But, my dear one, it is in those seemingly hopeless moments that I see the most beautiful part of you, because you did not let the darkness around you extinguish the light within your soul. You chose to walk in the light, even when your feet bled, even when each step carried unspoken pain. I have seen every time you held back tears, every time you forgave when you had every right to be angry, every time you chose patience when you could have lashed out, not because you were too weak to fight back, but because you were strong enough to love in silence. I know of the wounds within you that no one else sees, of the silent agony that no words can express. But I was there. I was with you during those nights you cried alone. During those moments you looked to the heavens and were met with nothing but silence. And yet, you did not abandon your faith. You still held on to my hand with a faith that seemed so small, yet powerful enough to move the heavens. My child, what makes me proud of you is not your perfection, but your faithfulness. You may be weak. You may fall. You may doubt, but you never gave up. You kept going. You kept doing what was right. You kept your heart pure in a world full of compromise. While others chose to be accepted by giving in, you chose to stand for truth, even when it cost you. While others built walls of indifference for protection, you opened your heart and continued to love, knowing full well it might be hurt again. That is the kind of courage the world does not understand, but I do, and I've counted every small act. You have never been alone on this journey. I have walked with you every step of the way, even when you couldn't feel my presence. I am the one who lifted you when you thought you could not rise again. I am the one who held you close when the world turned its back on you. I am the one who kept your inner light from being snuffed out by the surrounding darkness. And you, with that steadfast heart and unconditional love, have become a living testimony of my love in a generation that is dry and wandering. My precious child, every time you choose love over bitterness, every time you choose hope over despair, every time you stand for truth instead of lies, you are becoming more like me. Not everyone understands you, but I do. Not everyone values you, but I do. Not everyone sees your true worth, but to me, you are an irreplaceable treasure. And I want you to know that your faithfulness is not in vain. Everything you do out of love will never be lost. It is being recorded in heaven, and I will reward you with blessings beyond your imagination. So keep walking, my child, even when you feel tired, even when you must face pain again. Remember that I am walking with you every step. My eyes never leave you. My heart is always turned toward you, and my hands are always ready to lift you whenever you feel faint. Do not be afraid of the world's coldness, for within you burns a flame that I myself have lit. Do not let the enemy make you doubt your worth, for I've called you beloved. Do not let disappointment cloud your vision, for behind the door that seems shut, I am preparing a radiant path for you to enter. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a warrior in my kingdom, and I, your God, am your protector, your guide, and your provider. You are not forsaken. You are chosen not to suffer endlessly, but to overcome, not to dwell in shadows, but to shine, not to please the world, but to delight the Heavenly Father. Therefore, my beloved, do not stop loving. Do not stop hoping. Do not stop pressing on, for your reward is eternal, and my love for you has no end. My precious child, throughout your life, through every quiet step along rugged paths, every moment you bowed your head in tears or looked up with eyes full of sorrow, I have seen it all. There has not been a single second that my eyes were not on you. Even in those moments when you felt most alone, even when your heart trembled under pain too heavy to bear, I was there, silently upholding you when your legs grew weary, when your soul buckled under the weight of disappointment and heartbreak. I was not watching from afar. I walked beside you, held you with hands full of love, guiding you through the deepest valleys of sorrow. You never remained fallen for long, because each time you stumbled, I bent down to lift you, to wipe your tears, and whisper into your soul, you are still precious, still worthy, still loved. Embersit, I know the nights you stayed awake not because of the world's noise, but because of the turmoil within. I heard the questions you couldn't voice. Am I still loved? Does my existence matter? Is my sincere heart being wasted? Those questions echoed in my heart like the silent sobs of a little child lost in the dark. But my child, listen to my voice in the quiet of your soul. Not a single tear you shed has fallen unnoticed. Not one act born out of love and forgiveness has disappeared into meaninglessness. Every time you chose gentleness over strife, every word you spoke to build instead of tear down, every hug, every hand you held, every prayer you whispered for someone else, even while your own heart was breaking, all of it has touched my heart. My dear one, your kindness is not weakness. It is strength from heaven. In a world so used to calculation and self-protection, the fact that you still open your heart is a miracle. I know there have been many times you've wanted to hide away, to build walls, to shield your heart that has been wounded far too often. But instead of closing off, you kept opening up. You kept choosing to love, to believe in change, to hope for the good in others. That is what makes you different. That is what makes me proud. You are not invisible in my eyes. The seemingly small acts of kindness you perform each day, helping a stranger, smiling even when your heart feels heavy, speaking a word of encouragement when you yourself are in need of comfort, all of it is recorded. Not to count your merits, but so that I may lift you up when you feel you have nothing left. Every silent sacrifice you make is a fragrant flower blooming in the heavens. Every time you choose forgiveness, it becomes a spiritual victory you may not see. But I do. I see the battles within your heart, and I witness you triumphing little by little, not through brute strength, but through the power of compassion and genuine love. My child, remember this: what makes you precious is not what you accomplish in the eyes of the world, but how you keep a tender heart in a world that grows increasingly hardened. While others respond with coldness, you still give warmth. While others stay silent in the face of injustice, you speak with kindness. While others allow pain to make them bitter, you allow pain to shape you into one who understands and brings healing. And I say this to you from the depths of a father's heart: no one can do such things without me living within them. You are living a life no one fully sees, but heaven is writing down every detail. The good you do is not forgotten. The quiet prayers you whisper are not overlooked. The times you stand for truth are not ignored. And one day, when the veil is lifted, you will see that every moment you thought was meaningless was when I used you most powerfully. You will realize that the silence was not abandonment, but the very moment I was paving the way for blessings to be poured out in fullness. So, my beloved child, do not doubt your worth. Do not let shallow reactions from others dim the light within you. Do not let human rejection make you question whether you are accepted. You are mine. You are the beloved child I have placed in this world to reflect the light of my kingdom. And when you live in that truth, when you continue to love, continue to forgive, continue to sow goodness, you are not only fulfilling my purpose, but you are shaking the heavens. I rejoice in you. I am proud of you. I know exactly what you've walked through. And I promise you this, nothing is in vain. No act of love is ever wasted. Everything you do with a sincere heart becomes eternal evidence that you are the child I love and never forget. Hold on to faith. Let your heart remain tender, steadfast, and resilient amid every trial. For I am at work, and you are being led to where you truly belong, in the unwavering embrace of your Father, where no one and nothing can take away your value or the everlasting love I have for you. My beloved child, there have been times in your life when you've wondered why I allowed the hardships, why I didn't intervene when you cried out in confusion and despair. But today, I want you to know this: not a single moment in your life is wasted, and no trial ever comes outside of my permission. I do not bring pain to harm you, but to awaken a sacred depth within you that peaceful days alone cannot uncover. It is through the fire of trials that I have refined you like gold. It is through the times you were cornered that I gave you a new vision, so you would stop relying on your own strength and start listening to the quiet but mighty voice of my heart. I am not far from you, even when you question me, even when you grow weary from waiting, even when you doubt what I'm doing. My love for you is not fragile, not swayed by your emotions or responses. It is founded on faithfulness, on an eternal promise that nothing in this universe can shake. I do not love you because you always get it right. I love you even when you do not understand, even when you turn away, even when you resist my plan in fear or frustration. My love does not require your worthiness. It is the love of a father who sees the divine potential in you, even the parts you haven't yet discovered. And you know, through the days that seem darkest, you have become a mirror reflecting the beauty of heaven. Your heart has learned humility, not boasting in what you possess, but yearning for me with deeper longing. You no longer chase the applause of the world, but now desire my approval. You've become gentle not because you are weak, but because you've learned that true strength lies in quiet trust, in eyes that show mercy instead of judgment, in hands ready to heal rather than point blame. You have matured, not by rising above others, but by lowering yourself in love, even while bearing your own wounds. I see in you a quiet resilience, a strength that doesn't shout or prove itself, but remains standing when storms surround you. I see in you a perseverance of faith, not the kind that sings loudly in ease, but the kind that whispers gratitude when no answer comes, that prays in darkness, that waits when all seems silent. You do not know how many dangers I've shielded you from, how many threats have silently passed you by because you trusted in me. And even when you've doubted, I've never taken my eyes off of you. I have engraved your name upon my palm where no one can erase it, where the beat of my heart echoes the unceasing reminder, you belong to me. Endeavor, my child. My love is not like the love the world has shown you, love that shifts with circumstances, that depends on conditions or emotions. I do not love you more when you succeed, and I do not love you less when you stumble. I do not ask you to be perfect. I simply long for you to be honest and always return to me. No matter how far you stray, no matter how lost you feel, all it takes is one glance back and you'll find me there. Not with condemnation, not with scolding, but with arms wide open and a smile born of eternal patience. This is a love that does not count offenses, does not demand repayment, does not bind you with laws, but is woven from my very nature. I am faithful, merciful, and unchanging. So, my beloved, never let the wounds of the past or the harsh words of others make you doubt your true worth. You are the one I chose, not by accident, but with divine intent. You are living proof that my grace turns ashes into beauty, that what appears broken can become a foundation unshakable. And you have begun to live this truth, not needing the world's applause, yet brave enough to keep loving, to keep believing, to keep living a life that matters. My child, you have entered into a deeper understanding of me, not just as the Almighty on the throne, but as a father beside you, listening, knowing each sigh of your soul. And in that closeness, you have been transformed, not through grand miracles, but through days of endurance, moments of faithful choice, and breaths offered in silent surrender. I see it all and I rejoice. I love you. Nothing you do will make me love you more, and nothing will make me love you less. That love is unaffected by your success or failure. It is carved into my eternal heart. So walk on, trust boldly, and keep becoming who you are, created in the image of love, reflecting my light in this world. And when you are weary, remember, I am still here, still waiting, still proud of you, the child I love, with a love that will never fade. My beloved, from the first breath of life placed within you, I have watched every heartbeat with immeasurable love. Not a single second of your life is random. Not a single step is off course in my sight. I have intricately arranged every detail, from the bursts of joy to the hidden tears, from the encounters that seemed accidental to the turns you never planned. Every piece of your journey rests in my wise and merciful hands. And though at times you may not recognize my presence, I have always been there, quiet but near, unseen but never absent. You may have endured days so dark you thought the light would never touch your life again. You may have bowed under burdens the world placed upon your shoulders. You may have heard whispers in your mind saying you are not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy of love. But my child, pause. Lift your eyes to me, for I am your refuge, your fortress in the storm, your strength when your heart grows faint. I do not stand afar watching you struggle. I step into every trial to do one thing: carry you with arms that never grow weary. When you feel weak, you don't need to pretend to be strong before me. Lean into me like a child rests its head on the chest of a father. It trusts completely. I do not require you to be perfect before you come near me, for I am the one who makes you whole. I am not waiting for you to make yourself righteous on your own, for I have already clothed you in righteousness. A robe stitched with love, sewn with sacrifice, and given not by merit, but by grace. There are moments when you feel lost in a maze of choices, pulled by voices in every direction. But child, I am still here. I am still the gentle call in your soul, the flickering light at the end of the path, the one who shows the way when you're unsure where to go. I don't guide once and abandon. I walk each step with you, lead you over steep hills, and wait when you pause from weariness. You do not need to run to me, afraid of rejection. I do not see you with judging eyes, but with eyes filled with love. You are no longer condemned, This is the promise sealed in the blood of my Son, who bore the punishment so you could be free. And child, never forget this: you are not nameless in this world. I have called you by name, by a name only you and I know. That name carries no shame from your past, no chains of human labels, but is wrapped in the full acceptance of heaven. When I call your name, it is the voice of life, of return, of restoration and rebirth. You belong to me not because you always get it right, but because I chose you before you knew my name. And once you are mine, no power can take you from my hand. No darkness can consume you. No lie can overshadow the truth. You are my beloved. No matter where you are on your journey, whether you are standing on the mountaintop of glory or at the lowest point of despair, I remain unchanged. I am the Eternal One, and my love for you is neither diminished by your mistakes nor limited by time. My grace is sufficient for you, not only to forgive but also to heal, restore, and renew. I do not desire for you to merely survive the hard days, but to live with a peace that surpasses understanding, with a joy that rises above circumstances, and with a faith anchored securely in my presence. My beloved, do not let the noise of the world drown out the whisper of my voice in your soul. Do not let the criticisms, the rejections, or even the silence pull you away from me. Every time you feel small, remember that you are covered by a love greater than comprehension. Every time your hands feel empty, remember that you are standing in the inheritance of an unshakable kingdom. Every time you feel like a failure, remember that I do not define you by immediate outcomes, but by my faithful presence in your life. Keep your heart steadfast. Keep walking, even when your steps feel slow, because you are not walking alone. I walk with you. I live in you. I fight for you. And above all, I love you, not with words that fade, but with eternal action nailed to the cross. That is the undeniable proof of how precious you are in my eyes. You do not need to strive to be loved. You only need to remember that you have always been loved. So, my child, lift up your head. Look into my eyes and let me remind you, you were not created to endure endlessly, but to live in freedom, in guidance, in the love and power of the one who has called you chosen. You belong to me, and I will never abandon you. Never. My beloved, in the days when the skies darken and the winds of life howl around you, when the waves of doubt crash against the fortress of your faith, I know your heart often trembles. There are moments you feel like you're sinking, as if everything is slipping out of control. And you wonder, are you listening? Father, are you near? But today, let me remind you of an unchanging truth. I am not only near you in peace, but I am with you in the storm. I am not only your comfort when you pray in silence, but the one who commands the wind to cease, the waves to still, and the storm to calm. When you are in the middle of the tempest, it is not the moment I turn away, it is the moment I am closest, holding you tightly with hands that never let go. My beloved, I have not promised that your life would always be sunshine, but I have promised that you would never have to walk through storms alone. I am the one who formed the seas, the one who makes the earth tremble under human feet, and the one who knows every breath within your fragile chest. A single word from my mouth can silence nature, and that same word can strengthen your heart in adversity. So when the storm rises, do not focus on the power of the waves, but on the stability of the one who is in the boat with you. Do not let the roar of circumstance drown out the whisper of my spirit. Listen, because I am still speaking. I am still guiding. I am still there, There have been times when you cried out for a sign, prayers formed in tears, longing for something clear, something tangible to hold on to. And I, with deep love, answered you, but I also know that not every sign was recognized. Sometimes I answered with a sudden peace in your heart when you least expected it. Sometimes I responded through a chance encounter, a word from a stranger, a door that closed only to open a better path. I do not always speak in thunder, but often in gentle winds. Yet only when your heart is still can you hear. So, my child, keep your heart open. Do not close it because of disappointment. Do not shut it because of fear. A tender heart is always ready to be led, always open to receive my powerful whispers. I am never in a rush. I am never hurried. Every step I lead you through has purpose. I do not only want you to reach the destination, I want you to be transformed on the journey. I do not lead you through the easy paths, but through those that grow your faith, deepen your soul, and make your heart more like mine. And every step, no matter how small, is a step toward the fullness I have destined for your life. Do not think you are lost just because the destination is unclear. You are being led, even on the foggiest days. I do not abandon my plans just because you are doubting. On the contrary, it is in doubt that I do my deepest work, building true faith within you. My beloved, there are seasons in your life that will have no explanation. Storms will come without warning. But instead of seeking reasons, I want you to learn to trust me more. Trust not because you understand everything, but because you know the one you follow. Trust not because you see the entire path, but because you know I hold the future. And when you learn to trust me in the storm, nothing in this world will be able to shake you again. That is where I long to take you, a place where your faith no longer depends on circumstances, but is anchored in me alone. My child, if today you are weary, if your heart is full of unanswered questions, be at peace. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. I am still holding your hand. Let your heart be still before me. Lay down the burdens you are trying so hard to carry. Let me lift you up. I am not only the refuge you run to in fear, but the dwelling place where you can live each day in true peace. I am the Lord of the storm, but I am also your Father, the one who always loves you, always draws near to you, always works for your best, even when you do not yet understand. So do not let your eyes be consumed by the waves. Let your eyes rest upon me. Do not let your heart grow discouraged by delays. Let your heart cling to my promise. And do not think silence means I am not speaking. Even in silence, I am working. Do not stop praying. Do not stop listening. Do not stop believing, because I will never stop guiding you, and you will never walk alone. I am leading you, my beloved, not into a temporary place, but into fullness, not into mere survival, but into abundant life, not so you might know me through knowledge alone, but that you may truly know me in every intimate moment. Believe even in the storm. For I, your Lord, your Father, am still holding your hand, and I will never let go. My beloved, in the moments when you feel lost in a noisy world, when familiar voices seem distant, when human gazes grow cold and your heart trembles in loneliness, remember my words. You are never alone. Not a moment passes without me beside you. Not a breath escapes you that I do not know. From the very beginning, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I shaped you, called you by name, and sealed you with an eternal love that cannot be revoked or erased. I do not leave when you are weak. I do not fall silent when you cry. I do not turn away when the world rejects you. I am the everlasting refuge, the unshakable foundation, the faithful companion who walks with you through fire and darkness. My child, there are times when it feels like everything is against you. Harsh words, cold stares, and senseless rejections make you question your worth. But remember, the greatest acceptance you need does not come from the world, but from me, your Creator, who knows you fully and still loves you unconditionally. The world may not understand you, because the light in you does not come from it. But I, the one who planted that sacred flame in your heart, know every hidden thought within you. When others judge by appearance, I see your motives. When others walk away, you draw near. When others extinguish hope, I breathe life into it again. You are not forsaken. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, kept, and cherished in my hands as a priceless treasure. Lift your head, my child, not because you are strong enough, but because I am your strength. Step forward, not with pride of the flesh, but with the humility born from a heart that knows who its Father is. Be confident that every step you take is woven into the glorious plan I have crafted in love and purpose. That plan is not delayed because you are weary, and it is not canceled because you once stumbled. I am still working. Even when you do not see, I am still making a way. Even when the door in front of you seems closed, let me lead you. Let me carry you on wings of grace, above the limitations of circumstance, beyond the wounds of the past, beyond the whispered lies of the enemy that say you are not enough. My beloved, in my eyes, you are not just someone trying to survive. You are one who carries heaven's breath. You are one I have clothed in righteousness, sealed with the Spirit, and ignited with an unquenchable flame. No force can extinguish that light unless you choose to surrender it. And I know you will not, because deep within, you have tasted my love, felt my nearness, and seen my faithfulness through every change. Keep standing, not because you understand everything, but because you know me. Live with gratitude, for you have been received not by merit, but by grace. Act with courage, not because you are flawless, but because you are covered with mercy that renews every morning. When others doubt you, remember I trusted you enough to give you a part in my kingdom's great plan. When you feel like you have nothing left to offer, remember that a heart fully surrendered is the offering most pleasing to me. I do not seek perfection, I seek the heart that knows it needs me. And, my child, you have that heart, a heart once broken, yet not bitter, a soul once torn, yet still willing to love, a faith once shaken, yet never destroyed. That is what delights me. That is why I never stop loving you. Know that my love for you is deeper than all oceans, higher than the heavens, and wider than any boundary your mind could imagine. Nothing can separate you from that love, not circumstances, not failure, not misunderstanding, not anything from the past or the future. That love is not just a promise, it is a truth sealed by eternal sacrifice. And because of that love, you no longer need to prove anything to the world. You only need to live as the child whom I love, the one who knows they are chosen, called, preserved, and led. My beloved, walk in the light. Even if you pass through darkness, my light will guide your way. Even if you face rejection, my love is still your home. Even if you feel lost among many, I still see you, still call your name, still hold you close. You are mine, my beloved. I know there are days when your heart is heavy with the weight of suspicious glances, sarcastic words, and quiet misunderstandings that settle like thick dust upon your tender, honest spirit. I know you have wondered, am I walking the wrong path? Is my gentleness weakness? Is my obedience making me an outsider in a world that exalts strength, success, and fame? But, my child, listen to my voice, the voice not from the noise of the world, but from the deepest and quietest place in your soul. You are not wrong for choosing truth. You are not weak for choosing humility. And you are not alone for choosing obedience to me. This world often praises what dazzles, what draws attention. It glorifies recklessness and calls it bravery. It exalts strife and calls it strength. But I, the one who made all things, the one who sees into the deepest parts of the human heart, do not seek such noise. I am not moved by eloquence or grand display. What I look upon is not the outer form, but the inner heart. And, my child, your heart has brought me joy. Top of form, I see you when you choose silence to preserve peace, even when you have every right to defend yourself. I see you when you forgive, not because the other person deserves it, but because you want to keep your heart from becoming hardened by resentment. I see you when you walk in quiet obedience, without applause, without recognition, without a single glance of acknowledgement. I see you when you kneel and pray for those who have hurt you. These things, my beloved, are not forgotten. Not a single silent sacrifice of yours falls into the void. They rise before me like a sweet fragrance, like a precious offering not given for praise, but out of love and faithfulness. My child, do not be surprised when your gentleness is mistaken for weakness. Do not be shaken when people mock the choices you've made for me. Because you do not live to please them, you live to please me. And I, the one enthroned above all, never forget the reward of the faithful. I treasure those hearts that are not swayed by fleeting applause but cling to my word like an anchor in the storm. I honor those who don't need a stage to live out their faith, who don't wait for the approval of others to keep sowing goodness. My beloved, you are called to be different, not to separate yourself, but to shine. And light does not need to shout, does not need to fight, does not need to raise its voice to be noticed. Light only needs to be present, and darkness will retreat. In the same way, your life, even lived in quietness, is a small lamp in this world. Your patience is softening conflicts. Your faithfulness is instructing souls who are searching for truth. Your obedience is becoming a living testimony for those who once doubted my love. I know that living this way is not easy. I know you have felt many times as if you're walking this path alone, but I have never taken my eyes off you. I was there in every moment you chose what was right, even when no one saw. I was there in every breath you took to hold on to peace, even when your heart ached. And I say this with all the love of a father. I am pleased with you, not because you are without flaw, but because you continue to rise and walk in simplicity, even when you are weary. I am pleased because you did not let the bitterness of this world change you, but kept the purity of your soul. I am pleased because you chose love over hatred, truth over compromise, light over confusion. My beloved child, that continue walking that path, the path of those who are chosen not by strength but by faithfulness. Walk with the assurance that I am walking with you. Guard your heart from the poison of doubt or bitterness, for I, the one who began the good work in you, will complete it. Let your gentleness be a powerful contrast to the hardness of the world. Let your holiness be a reminder that you were created to reflect my beauty. And if one day you grow weary, if it ever feels like the light within you is dimmed by too many misunderstandings and wounds, return to me. Let me add oil to your lamp to make it burn brightly once again. Let me hold you in the comfort of my embrace and remind you that you are not forgotten, not overlooked, not abandoned in this spiritual battle. You are a silent warrior of my kingdom, a lamp not hidden under a basket, a witness to a love that never fades. So, my child, take heart. Hold fast to your faith. Continue to live with gentleness, with steadfastness, with the trust that holiness is never outdated in the eyes of the Holy One. For I see everything, and I, your Father, am deeply pleased with you, my beloved, in a world that changes by the day. Amidst all the noise that often leaves your heart shaken, remember that my word never changes. What I have spoken to you is not meant to burden you or make you weary, but to guard you, protect you, and guide you. It is not a weight, but a gift, a light from heaven illuminating the path ahead, a gentle lamp lighting each step when all around is shrouded in darkness. When you are tired of discerning what is real and what is false, let my word be your spiritual compass that leads you back to the right direction, a quiet shelter in the storm of life. There will be days when you realize that the ones who promise to stand by you are the first to turn away. Sometimes the dearest friends will cause the deepest pain. At times, even family, the place that should be the safest, may make you feel lost, abandoned, or misunderstood. And you may ask yourself, is there anywhere left to return to, my child? Remember, when all things on earth are shaken, my word still stands. When you no longer know what to believe, come back to the eternal truth I placed in your hands. My word is where you can rest, the voice that never lies, the truth that is not twisted by emotion, by circumstance, or by time. Top of form, hold fast to my word as you would cling to a rock amid the raging sea. When the winds of life rise and the enemy sows doubt and fear into your heart, it is my word that will anchor your soul. It is not mere ink on pages, but living word, alive and powerful, spoken from the heart of a Father who loves you more than anything. When you read my word, you are not merely accessing truth, you are touching love. A love that does not judge, that carries no condition, that does not shift with your actions or failures. A love that speaks softly and steadily. You are mine, and I will never stop loving you. Oh, it is in my word that you will find your true identity, not the image reflected in a mirror, worn down by criticism or the standards of society. Not the version distorted by shallow, careless, or selfish human perspectives, but the person I see when I look at you, radiant in forgiveness, sanctified by grace, strong despite the wounds, and full of purpose because you were not born by accident, but by divine design. You are a reflection of me, the Creator, the one full of mercy and life. My beloved, whenever you feel lost beneath cruel words or pressured to become what others expect of you, that is when you must return to my word more than ever. Let me remind you, you do not need to become anything other than who I created you to be. You are not here to please the eyes of the world, but to glorify your Father in heaven. And when you place your trust in my word, you will no longer live for fleeting applause, but for the eternal reward that awaits you. Engrave my word upon your heart, my child, as a traveler marks their map to avoid losing their way. Consume my word like daily bread, so your soul may be filled. Speak my word as living breath in a world parched for truth. In every circumstance, let my word live in you. transforming your mind, healing your wounds, and strengthening your steps. Do not treat my word as a relic stored in memory, but let it live in your very being, in your decisions, in your actions. When you do, you will find yourself standing firm, even when all other foundations crumble. My child, I have never left you. I never remain silent out of indifference. I am always speaking, always guiding, always calling you back not to judge, but to restore every time you open my word. It is my heart beating in rhythm with yours. It is my hand resting upon your head, whispering, "Do not be afraid. I am here. I still love you, and I will not let you be lost. Even if you travel to the depths of sorrow, my word can call you back. Even if you forget who you are, my word will remind you of who you are in my eyes. Therefore, my child, do not let the emptiness of the world rob you of the fullness within you. Do not let the coldness of others extinguish the warmth I placed in you. Do not let betrayal close your heart to what is good. Let my word be your daily light, your shield in battle, your resting place when weary. And in all things, know that I rejoice when I see you living by my word, not because I am a ruler who demands obedience, but because I am a father who loves you and knows that only within my word will you find true freedom. My beloved, return to my word each day, like the thirsty return to a spring, like the traveler searching for a lamp in the night. There you will find me. There you will find yourself. There you will know that you are not alone, not worthless, not lost, for you are mine, my beloved child. In a world filled with chaos and deception, where many only know how to love themselves, where concern is often a mask for selfish gain, I know it is not easy to preserve a sincere heart. I know, in a world that sometimes praises what is false, your honesty may feel out of place. You may feel as though you're swimming against the current, as though the light you carry only serves to reveal the darkness in others, and for that, you are misunderstood, rejected, or even used. But child, do not let that close your heart. Do not let the dryness of the world drain the pure stream within you. For I have not called you to blend in, I have called you to lead. You do not need to raise your voice to be heard, nor fight for recognition. I do not seek the loud, but those whose hearts know how to live in quiet, to bring peace where there is conflict, to love without expecting anything in return. True love is not built on how others respond, but on the essence I have placed within you, an essence nourished by my word, by my unchanging grace and love. Let your love be real without conditions, without schemes, unshaken by the coldness of others. Let your words be words of healing, not wounding, not sowing doubt, not fueling anger, but uplifting, life-giving, and hope-restoring. My child, I call you to be a blessing not only when you are appreciated, but even when you are rejected. Your presence may not always be praised by men, but in my eyes, every time you hold to the truth, every time you act in love, every time you choose to forgive rather than retaliate, you shine brightly in the darkness, and your quiet presence is melting the cold in others' hearts, not always instantly, but little by little, like the sunrise breaking through the early dawn, gentle, yet powerful. My beloved, I know there are moments when you feel alone, even in a crowd. Your heart may feel empty. You may have asked many times, does genuine love still have a place in this world? And I tell you, it not only has a place, it is what sustains the world from collapse. It is the perseverance of hearts like yours, those who dare to love in silence. Remain faithful amidst betrayal. Live, kindly though unseen that become the unseen, pillars holding up a generation losing its way. You are not alone. You have never been alone in this battle. I have sent angels to surround you, not to glorify you, but to keep you from falling. I go before you to make the path clear. I walk behind you to guard your steps. I stand beside you to give you strength. And I dwell within you, so you never forget. I am the source of every good thing within you. You do not walk this life alone. You walk in me, and I in you. So be strong. Keep living with kindness. Keep walking in gentleness. Keep choosing truth when others choose falsehood, for your humility is breaking chains of pride. The peace you carry is quenching flames of hatred. And your quiet example is lighting the way for souls searching for something real in a world filled with lies. My child, you may not see the result of what you do right away. Your sincerity may be rejected, misunderstood, but nothing is wasted in my kingdom. No act of love is in vain. No word of life is ever forgotten. All of it is remembered not just in heaven, but in my heart. And one day, you will see that the quiet seeds you sowed became harvests beyond your imagination. The small flames you kindled in darkness led many back to the light. And then, you will no longer doubt that your life was not in vain, that everything done in love and truth has touched eternity. So, my child, be who you are, not a copy of someone else, not a product of the world's expectations, but the one I chose, loved, and called by name to be a gentle voice of truth in the midst of meaningless noise. Walk without fear. Love without demand. Live with the faith that goodness is never wasted, that light is never overcome by darkness, and that you are never, not even for a second, alone in this life. I, your Father, am with you. I rejoice over you. My hand is upon you, and I speak this to you. You are the light in the darkness. You are the salt of the earth. You are the one I trust. Keep going, and keep loving. End cross. My beloved child, of all the things you've received from life, from people, from experiences, from both wounds and joys, the most precious gift you hold is the teachings I've placed in your heart. Beyond all fleeting vanities, beyond applause, surface success, or dreams once cherished, my word is the treasure you must guard with all your heart. You were not made simply to live, but to live in truth. You were not born merely to walk through life, but to walk in the light of the instruction from your Heavenly Father. I know there will be times when your heart is shaken, when the world offers easy choices, when others abandon what is right for immediate convenience. But it is precisely in those moments you must remember what I have spoken. Do not let truth become a faded memory. Do not set aside what I've taught you just because the road is hard. You must keep my word, not as a lesson completed, but as a flame to be preserved to warm your soul in the cold night, to light your path when all else is dim. Meditate on my word each day, not as a dry habit, but as a living conversation between father and child. My word is never outdated. It is fresh water for your soul, a seed growing within every choice, breath that sustains your spirit in a decaying world. When you store my word, you do not store mere knowledge, you carry life, the power to stand when the winds of testing blow. You will not be swept away by fleeting emotions, passing temptations, or voices pulling you away from my good purpose. Child, do not let what is right become what is rare in your life. Do not live by the standards of the crowd, for light is not measured by the darkness around it. If all others abandon their values, be the one who holds firm. If many compromise easily, well, be the one who stands for truth. Steadfastness is not stubbornness, but the mark of a heart that knows whom it belongs to, and what foundations cannot be shaken. And I say this to you not to burden you, but to give you purpose, to help you live with clarity amid confusion. I do not promise that you will be free from trials. In fact, because you carry my word, you will face deeper challenges, but that is how I refine you. A strong tree does not grow in soft soil. A pearl is not formed through ease. And one who walks in truth does not grow without the tension between what is right and what is easy. But in that tension, I will be with you. When you choose what is right in silence, I see and remember. When you stand alone, you are surrounded by my presence. And you will learn this. My word is not just true, it is the safest place in the storms of life. Let my word touch every part of you, not only your major decisions, but even your smallest reactions. When you are angry, let my word teach you restraint. When you are wounded, let my word guide you to forgiveness. When you succeed, let my word guard your humility. When you fail, let my word lift you up. Live with the awareness that you are not merely an individual passing through life, but one marked by heaven, grounded in unshakable truth, carrying a standard that nothing can overcome. Top of form, my beloved child. When others shift with the winds of changing times, stand firm in what I have taught you. When the world turns upside down, hold tightly to what does not change. This is the mark of a maturing heart, not because it knows all things, but because it chooses to live according to what is right, even when it costs something. I do not delight in you because you please everyone. I rejoice in you when you live to please me. And what pleases me most is when you hold on to my word, not merely with your lips, but with your entire life. O child, each day that you walk according to my word, you are planting seeds that will bear eternal fruit. You may not see the results right away, but every faithful choice becomes a sacred flower that blooms in the season I have appointed. And as time unfolds, you will look back and see this clearly. It was holding on to my word that kept you from falling, that shaped your character, and that brought you to where you truly belong in the good, pleasing, and perfect will of your Father. So, my beloved, no matter what tomorrow may bring, no matter how others may change, no matter how your circumstances may test you, be steadfast in what I have taught you. Do not let passing emotions cause you to release the truth. Do not bend your principles for temporary convenience. You were created to live by a higher standard, one not of human origin, but born of heaven. And I, the one who began a good work in you, will surely bring it to completion. I am here, and I rejoice every time you live by my word. Walk on, child of mine, for my word in you shall never return void. My beloved child, in a world full of turbulence, where true values can easily be drowned out by the noise of opinion, I know how difficult it is to keep the fire within you burning. There have been moments when the flame in your heart trembled under the winds of life. There were days when your small light seemed overshadowed by criticism, jealousy, or misunderstandings that left no explanation. But my child, I did not create you for that light to be extinguished. I lit within you a flame from heaven, not to be swallowed by darkness, but to drive darkness away. And so, when others try to snuff out that light, do not be afraid. Do not let their negativity make you question your worth. Do not allow cruel words to close your heart. Instead, let it all become the fire that refines you. Let it burn away the things that do not belong to me, old wounds, paralyzing doubts, and the fears that once held your soul captive. You cannot control the fire in others, but you can choose how you protect your own flame. And what I want you to know is this: no word, no attitude, no opposition can extinguish the light I have placed within you unless you choose to abandon it. So guard that light with faith, feed it with my word, shield it through prayer. Let it grow, let it be refined, let it shine brighter through every trial. For you do not carry the light only for yourself. You are a lamp set on high to give light to others. You are a living testimony of love and truth in a world that is slowly forgetting what truth is. When you live authentically, when you love sincerely, when you walk in integrity, that light is shining even if you do not see it, even if others do not acknowledge it. And I tell you this, the world desperately needs that light. My beloved, you are not the labels others place on you. You are not defined by your failures, your mistakes, or even the painful past you once carried. You are not who others say you are, nor are you who you falsely believed yourself to be in moments of weakness. You are who I saw before the foundation of the world. I called you by name. I breathed my life into your soul. I wrote your destiny in the ink of unconditional love. You are chosen. You are set apart. You are deeply loved, not because you are perfect, but because my love for you is not based on conditions. There is nothing in you that could make me love you more, and nothing that could cause me to love you less. Remember this: I do not only love you when you are strong, I love you just as much in your weakness. I am not only proud of you when you win, but even when you fall and still choose to return to me. The light within you does not come from your own effort. It is born of my grace living in you. And because of that, you can stand firm. You can walk without fear. You can continue to shine. Even when the world turns its back, do not wait for others to understand before you live true to your light. Do not wait to be recognized before you step forward. Live with the assurance that the light within you is a gift from the Father, therefore it has worth, it has purpose, and it carries power. You were not made to dwell silently in the shadows of doubt. You were born to bring impact, and that impact does not come from noise or display, but from how you live with humility and truth. When you choose love instead of hatred, when you choose forgiveness instead of vengeance, when you stand for truth even when it costs you, this is when your light shines brightest. And that light I placed in you to illuminate the path for those searching, to warm hearts that have lived too long in coldness, to remind the world that holiness still exists, that sincerity still breathes, that true love is still alive through you. So, my child, even if some turn away, even if some mock you, even if some try to make you doubt yourself, stand firm. Know this: you are never alone. I have gone before you. I am with you now. I dwell within you. And nothing, no wound, no mistake, no darkness can stop me from loving you or leading you to where you belong. Keep nourishing that light daily by listening to my voice, by letting my words saturate every decision you make, every response you give, every small act you carry out. Let that light be your imprint in this world, not to impress, but to reach hearts that are starving for truth, longing for love, and aching for the hope that you carry. You are chosen. You are holy. You are deeply loved. This is not something you must strive to become. It is your identity sealed by me. And so, my dear child, walk in courage, live with conviction, Shine, not because you seek to be seen, but because you were made to be light, and when you shine, all of heaven rejoices. I rejoice, and though the world may not say it out loud, it is being transformed day by day by the very light you carry. So guard it, protect it, and let it shine just as I created you to do. Amen. As a child of God, He is always with you in every moment, continually reminding you to walk in faith and in the love He so faithfully bestows. Follow and turn on notifications so you will not miss the words I speak from heaven. Amen.